Hi, it's Rachel again, and I'm back for another video. I did my first one last week. Hopefully I got some kinks worked out. Gonna try and talk a little louder. That's hard because the house is quiet and I'm in my kitchen and it echoes. And I thought I would do another video for practice to get a little better at this. I'm only going to get better the more I do. I had a lot of questions that I thought that I would answer. So I thought 1 week I'll do another one, and then this time I'll probably wait a few weeks before I attempt this again and actually get some stitching done and some more stuff to talk about. And yeah, who knows, over the holidays things can be kind of busy with my kids home and just all kinds of stuff going on. So over the next few months I will try to do what I can when I can. And I just wanted to say thank you for all of the comments and likes and linen orders. I've gotten a ton of linen orders. Everybody's just been so nice and I really appreciate it. It's fun to talk to other stitchers. I don't have any friends that stitch, not one. So it's kind of fun to interact with people. Yeah, I think that's it. I haven't gotten rid of saying too much, but I'm working on it. So I usually decorate for Christmas. I start the day after Halloween, and I've been dyeing linen a lot. So I haven't really gotten going on that, and I was taking down some of my fall stuff, and I grabbed two older fall finishes that I thought I'd show you since it's still technically fall. I did get my tree up. No ornaments, but the tree and the lights are up. I had my daughter pull that out of the basement. But this weekend, I told her I would take a little break from the dyeing and we would really go whole hog. So next time you see me on a video, this whole area behind you I know it will have Christmas. I put everything that's not Christmas kind of away in boxes. Right now in this cabinet I have all my brown transferware, and I collect cookbooks, so I have old cookbooks everywhere, and I have a Tom and Jerry punch bowl collection, which is odd, but that is what I put in here with some old recipe books and kitchen-y items. I like vintage Christmas, and I have for years, so that's kind of the style that I decorate in, and you'll probably see that on the next few videos. It does go down. I take all that stuff down by the first of the year. When you put it up so early and then right after Christmas, you kind of just don't feel like, you don't feel like having it anymore, but it's a lot of work. So I do it early and I enjoy it. And fall is coming down. We got our first snow yesterday. Nothing that stuck, but some slush, so it's chilly. I'm wearing my outdoor scarf in the house, and I have coffee again, because why not? Okay, so one of the first things I wanted to show, I showed last time, and I thought I would show it again, because when I watched the video, first of all, when I made the video, I really didn't want to have to watch it myself, but I thought I'm going to have to watch it and see if there's any huge flubs before I upload it. I could tell the volume was not great, but on my phone, if I kind of cranked the volume, I could kind of hear most of what I said. I didn't always say all the right, pattern names or designer names or things about the pieces I showed. I'm sure I will show a lot of that stuff again. I don't know. I watched it and I just thought, ugh, this is why you weren't popular in high school. It's a little awkward. And then I ended up watching it like 5 times because I just kind of kept nitpicking it. And then I felt like an egomaniac watching myself all the time. And I thought, God, now I need a therapist. So I stopped. It is what it is. This one will be what it is. I will take the time to edit at some point. Right now I don't have time for that. So you're going to see leaning in and oops and whatever. You're going to see all the flaws, and that's what it is. So one thing I showed last time was Heritage Sampler, which is this one. And this one stays out all year. I think on the last video I called Paulette Stewart my sister from another mister, which in hindsight seems a little disrespectful, but I love her designs. She has a thing for Mount Vernon, which I do too, and Mount Vernon pops up in a lot of her stuff, and it's probably one of my favorite places I've ever been, my favorite place to go. She does a lot of American history. She has a lot of, you know, some of those American historical figures that I love too, like George Washington and Abraham Lincoln and John Adams. And I love this one. I want to do all of the series. This one is the story of the American flag. She doesn't have a lot of YouTube videos, but she has a video, I believe, on this pattern, and well, she might have one on all three. A New Constellation, and I think the Equality Sampler. So they're in the Rhode Island style, which I also love that. This has a lot of stitching. There's a lot of over one. I also have learned that I see it backwards and you don't, so I'm not going to worry about that. It takes a long time to do these, but I think it's worth it. They're not terribly big. I did start New Constellation. That one is the story of Betsy Ross, which is fantastic. And her video kind of describing the background of that is really fun. Really fun to watch if you haven't seen it. And then A New Constellation is sort of a homage to the suffrage movement and the women's right to vote. So I'm going to do them in order. And I love this piece. Probably after the holidays, I will go back to, I think it's A New Constellation. There's a lot of over one. These take a long time, but they're totally worth it. And they're just, I don't know. Colors are good. I did this on Vintage Country Mocha by Zweigart, and I will probably do all three on the same fabric. I think it's 40 count, so I will do all three the same so that they can be framed and sit together. Okay, so then, let's see, I can't see anything, 2011, I finished this, at least that's the date that's on it. This is a Little House Needleworks. I think it was either Acorn Hill or House on Acorn Hill. I don't keep my patterns once I've stitched them. I figure, you know, I'm never going to stitch it again. So I pass it on. I resell it to, you know, just for a few bucks a piece, just to put some money towards buying new designs. And adding to my stash. There is no way in heck I am ever going to stitch anything I've stitched before more than once. And there would only be maybe a couple of exceptions to that. So I don't want that stuff cluttering up my stash. So I just get rid of it. So a lot of times I might not have patterns to show you of stuff that I've already stitched because it's long gone. This is probably 32 count. I used to stitch a lot of Little House Needleworks. I don't really do as much anymore. I think the only one I kind of have in the sort of the queue would be Lantern Lane. I think that one's really, it's a Christmassy one. I'll probably show that on my Christmas video. I may do that one at some point. I mean, can't resist a red house. Yeah, they're very fun to stitch. They're typically very quick if you haven't stitched them before. I can't imagine who hasn't stitched a Little House Needleworks or a Country Cottage Needleworks. Yeah, but I used to love her. I used to just go gaga over all of her patterns and bought them all and stitched a lot of them. And I've actually gotten rid of a lot of stitched pieces that I've done, and a lot of them I think were Little House Needleworks. Not because they're not fabulous, just, you know, it's not totally my aesthetic. You know, like I said, I decorate with garbage, so these are certainly not garbage. And that's another thrift store frame. I have it duct taped in there. I gotta fix this. Okay, so another one I did, oh God, I'm not gonna remember what this was called. Cinnamon, I don't remember. It's Plum Street Samplers. I think everybody kind of knows what this is. I remember stitching this probably about 6 years ago, 6 or 7. Last year's when I finally put it in just a frame I had in the basement. It has no glass. It's probably 32 count, and I tea stained it, well, coffee stained it afterwards because I had done it on white and I didn't want it quite so quite so bright. Man, your throat gets really dry doing this. Okay. So, yeah. And I know I screwed up in here, but now I don't know where I did. I know my placement's off and some of my stitches are off, and you know, it doesn't matter. You don't notice after a while. So that one I usually put out. If I cough through this whole, oh, good Lord. If it isn't one thing, it's another. Okay. Another piece that's a favorite is Syrah Hopwood, and this is Scarlet House. I think I finished this last year. This one is fabulous. It actually does not take very long. This is a lot of fill-in. Good Lord. So anyway, what I will do is I jump around on my pieces. So like all this in here was super quick. Even these little flower motifs were pretty darn quick. So, you know, if I had time to really pay attention, I might work up here. I might come down here, and I outlined all of the grass pretty much. I did all the animals, and I did her name. And then kind of those nights when I'm too tired to really focus, or I maybe only have 20 minutes to stitch, those are the perfect times. That's why it's good when you have a rotation, to pick up a piece like this and just, it's one color. And I just zip, 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 and fill in, and before you know it, it's done. If I was a monogamous stitcher, this would drive me bonkers because you would just have days and days and days of filling in dead grass. But that's why I kind of like having a rotation, because if I have more time to focus, I'm probably not going to do this. I'm going to pick up a piece and do this. But, you know, like if you're sitting in the car like I do waiting for kids' sports or whatever, or you don't have great light, you know, these big fill-in areas are good for that. So that is Scarlet House. Oh, and it's DMC, and it is, this is a legacy linen, probably, what is that? They're cream, they're corn stock, corn silk, I don't remember, whatever their cream colored linen is, 38 count. Legacy is nice. It kind of almost feels like a even weave linen. It's really easy to, it's very easy to stitch on. Very easy to see. The holes are easy to see. Okay, this one I do have pattern. So everybody is doing the Black Sampler November. I don't know the hashtag. And I think Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery has done that. I just watched his last video, kind of half watched it. I was busy doing other stuff. So I watched his, if you haven't watched his videos, he's fun. He has such a calming, if he could read me bedtime stories, I would like follow, I would sleep like a baby, because his demeanor and his delivery of stuff is so calm and so just zen and peaceful. And I just love watching his videos, and he's a fabulous designer. So anyway, a lot of people on social media are doing Black Sampler November, which is just stitching a black sampler. And I've seen a lot of people pick this up, which I did earlier this year, and it's Harriet Goby, 1849. This was quick. This took me maybe a week to do. And like during the weekdays, I don't get a lot of time to stitch. So it did not take me long at all. And it's a PDF download. I don't think Hands Across the Sea has released this in booklet form yet. So it's a PDF, which would be an easy one to look at on your phone and stuff. And even to print off, it's black and that's it. So I had stitched this. This hangs in my kitchen thrift store frame. This is, I believe, 40 count Seraphim Dusty Road, which is kind of just a cream with like staining on it, kind of aged. And it's just DMC 310 black. I know a lot of people struggle with the black to choose. I don't. You know, I don't think 310 is too black. I don't think, you know, other people may see variances. I'm like, it's black, and 310 looks great on anything, or anchor black, or, black. There are subtle variances in blacks, but I just go for the 310. I want to do N. Grimshaw, and I think I might just do DMC 310 because why not? Yeah, so I like this one. It was fun. It kind of looks a little like it's wrinkled in the video a little, but it's not. It's, I think it's the staining on there. And I didn't frame it perfectly. At some point, stuff might get reframed and fixed. So, okay, hopefully I'm talking loud enough. I had a couple of questions that I thought I'd answer on here that were pretty common, and I still can't help looking at myself. I want to look at myself and not at the camera on my phone. Okay, I had a couple questions. Number one, I had a few people question how I stitch, and I use a hoop. I like to hoop it up. I've only ever stitched with a hoop. I didn't even know until I was on social media that people stitched other ways. I knew about Q-snaps. That's too bulky for me. It's too, you get your hand motion, the way you hold something, it just becomes so automatic that to switch, it's like, no way. So I never really have tried the Q-snap. I knew people, would use needlework stands. I didn't even know people stitched in hand until like social media. So yeah, I use a hoop. I use wood Duchess hoops, old hoops, because I like old things. So I love those. Yeah, and I don't even use one size. I kind of pick my size of hoop based on the area that I'm stitching and what I'm working on. I had a lot of questions about the linen, and so I have a few pieces to show you some. I pulled out 4 pieces of colors that I could try and show you. The problem with linen is I scan it, I photograph it. There's just no way to get a true color representation online. Even showing it here, like when I was showing my pieces before, like Dirty Teacup was a color that I had been stitching on, and it seemed really kind of blown out in the photo. So you kind of get an idea when it's shown on camera, but I think unless you see it in person, you just, you can't tell. You take a little bit of a chance when you're ordering. I'm happy to answer questions from people that are ordering my linen as to color suggestions or what tones things have. Yeah, I don't mind answering questions, and everybody's monitors are different too. You're going to see things, what I see on my phone and what is showing up, and I go, oh, that's a pretty good representation of this color. Someone else might, be on the website and look at that color. I had one very nice customer that thought that my color Steinbeck was a blue, and that's what she was seeing on her monitor. And Steinbeck is more of a grayish. It's kind of a taupe. a little bit of gray, a little bit of taupe. So she reordered a color that I suggested that she might like and kept the Steinbeck, and hopefully everybody will be happy. Her other order is winging its way to her now. Yeah, I had some questions on whether it was color fast, and so I wanted to address that part of it too. I do dye it as far as the instructions are for being color fast, but I'm not going to consider my linens color fast ever, for a lot of reasons. Number one, don't wash your linen. Do not wash. There is no need to wash your linen. There is no reason to wash your needlework. There just isn't. And I know old habits die hard, and a lot of people do that. I've seen a lot of people on, in Facebook groups, and talked to a lot of stitchers that, used to stitch back in the day, and they were always told to wash their needlework. There's only a few exceptions where you should ever be dunking that stuff in water or putting soap on it or doing whatever you do with it. I can speak for myself, and I know most dyers are like this because I think we all sort of follow a similar process. The linen gets washed multiple times. I mean, it is in and out of water constantly when you are hand dyeing linen. So all of the starch gets washed out when you first get it. It gets washed before and after, and it is washed many times. So there is nothing on it when it comes to you. I also can't guarantee what you're going to do with the linen when you get it. I don't know how you're going to store it. I don't know where you're going to hang it. I think the biggest killers of color or even deterioration of the linen would be sunlight. You're just hanging it in your house, or you're putting it out on a shelf. Sunlight and even air. I put my linen in these little bags, and it would be fine to store like this for a while, for maybe a year, in your stash, but it's against plastic with no air movement. So I don't know what could happen to this if you put it in a drawer and don't use it for 10 years. I have no idea. I don't know what kind of soaps you're using if you try to wash it or rinse it. I don't know the quality of your water. So I will never guarantee that. The dye is rinsed out when you get it. You shouldn't have bleeding on your hands or anything like that. The dye treatment that I use is very faded, purposely. That's kind of the way I like things kind of aged. That's kind of how I like to, I played with my technique for over a year before I kind of really got the process that I wanted to use down. The products, I use a mix of products. I did have that question too. What brand of dye do I use? I'll use anything that will get the linen the color that I have in mind. A lot of times when you research how to dye linen, they are very big on color fast and very big on all of the processes and how to get it done correctly. But if you also notice, and this is my theory, a lot of fabric dyers are dyeing for quilting fabric and clothing fabric. They are dyeing for materials that are going to be washed and used in a way that is much more abusive than what we do with our needlework. Nobody wants to dye a blouse and wash it 3 times and have it go from red to pink. Needlework's a little different. A lot of people are doing the tea staining and the coffee dyeing like Priscilla and Chelsea do. Coffee and tea are not color fast. They do have acid in them. I know at some point they could deteriorate your fabric a bit. I will show you. This is an old piece I pulled out of a drawer. This is by the Bay Needle Art. It used to be in a frame, and I had pulled it out because I think I just want to do a little pillow with it. Years ago, I think I stitched it in 06. And this is coffee stained. It's just white. It's Weigart. It doesn't look any different than when I did it, 15, 16 years ago. Whenever, I don't know when I started it, but apparently I finished it in 06. I could have started it way before that. It looks the same. It hasn't faded. It hasn't done anything. It has obviously been somewhat abused. But, you know, if that's what you want to do with your linen, I say go for it, you know. Get it the way you want it and, you know, use whatever. Use whatever. If you don't buy over-dyed linen, but you like the look and want to try it at home, I know Mama Loves UGB, Michelle, she has done some of the natural dyes, and they look beautiful. And I wouldn't consider those color fast. So with my linens, I do dye it in a process that is considered color fast, but I'm not going to guarantee that they're color fast because I don't know what happens to that linen when it gets to your house, and you know, that's that. So I thought I would show you some of the colors. Okay, so first of all, Pam and Steph mentioned me on their video, which was incredibly sweet. I think it was one of the nicest shout outs I have ever had, or there has ever been. It's like the only shout out I've ever had. But it was so sweet and so nice. And they were commenting, which this is probably my biggest question about the linens, is the names that I name my linen. I just started, they got one of the first batches of these new labels. And what I decided to do was, I was getting so many questions about, oh, I love the names, or where'd you think of this, or where'd you think of that? So each name kind of has a blurb, maybe a historical blurb, maybe an exact, this was my inspiration for the name. I don't know. It's just my personality. I don't want to be like everyone else. I'm trying to do my linens a little different. And I kind of, you know, every linen company seems to have a lot of food names. You know, how many creme brulees and lattes are there? There's a lot. And so I thought, well, why do we have to name them, you know, after things that we think the fabric looks like? Can't it just be kind of fun? And I love history. I love literature. I love pop culture. And I reference that a lot when I talk. And I thought, well, you know, why not have fun? So I'm having fun with the names. I love them. So if you order linens from me, you now will get this little blurb of the name and probably too long of a paragraph about what it is. You know, and I might mention on here sometimes I get questions about it. So this one's Melville. This is the one that I recommended to that customer that really wanted a blue. Now it's not blue. It is a gray, but it has blue undertones. So based on how you see color, it's gray, but blue. And it has, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. It has brown. I do brown, like a little bit of staining in it. So it is a gray going with little bits of, it's a grayish blue with little bits of brown. That's all I can say. It's very light. I think it's looking more blue in the camera than it is. It's got little you know, it's not like super mottled. It's actually a very pretty color. I like this one. And this one's kind of kicked up a notch as far as people going online and ordering it. But there is browns in it as well. And when I made it, I named it Melville. I thought of Moby Dick. You know, of course, who doesn't think of Moby Dick when they're buying linens? But yeah, so this has a little blurb about Herman Melville on it. Okay, so this one, I wouldn't say this one's a big seller, and I only have one piece, and someone just ordered it. So I thought I'd show it before it goes out the door. Okay, so this is Syrah Syrah. It's my homage to Doris Day, one of my favorites. And it is a yellow, very light yellow, almost like butter. And it's got a little, it's not, I wouldn't say it's mottled, but it's got some like lighter spots. It's very pretty. It doesn't get ordered a lot. I don't think a lot of people really use sort of a buttery yellow, but I think this would be really pretty if you had pieces with lots of teals, reds, you know, they would just pop on the yellow, or if you Like that ketchup and mustard look. Okay. I'm just kidding. Red would look fantastic on this. Yeah, so it'll still be there. It's not, even though it's not a big seller, it's a color I'll keep because I like some variances in colors. And it's pretty light. It's not a bright, in-your-face kind of yellow. I think certainly with some stitching on it, it could really be like a great contrast background for a lot of pieces. Maybe I'll stitch something on it too to kind of show at some point. Okay, so this one is Hemingway, and Steph showed this. This is one of the ones that she had ordered. Ernest Hemingway is definitely one of my favorite authors. And on my label, I had put, I also put a little quote, if I can. He's definitely one of my favorite authors. I think I started reading him in about 7th grade. A Farewell to Arms is my favorite book by him. But he does have a Northern Michigan connection, which I had put on there. His grandmother had a cabin up here, and he spent 22 summers up here. Spent his honeymoon. I think he may have even gotten married here to his first wife. He did spend his honeymoon here, and he wrote, I believe he wrote his first book up here. That's one I haven't read. I actually have it in the blurb. They have a, you can do like Hemingway tours up here, and you can go to all the places where like he hung out and stuff. And I keep thinking one summer I've got to do that. They were even doing it during COVID because a lot of stuff was, you know, outdoors, but they were having small groups. And I heard one of the tour guides on the radio talking about it, and I thought, oh, I should go do the Hemingway tour. You know, but then I thought, oh, I want to reread some stuff because it's been a long time. I really busted through a lot of the stuff that he wrote when I was in like junior high, and have picked up Hemingway quite a few times, but I think he's a fantastic writer, and he does have a Northern Michigan connection for sure. So this is a brown. It is kind of mottled. My modeling is typically not, it's not real in your face. It's subtle. It's subtle. This would be great. This would be great for a lot of stuff, really. Not to toot my own horn, but this is a good one. I would say it is a light to medium color brown. And I don't know. It is so hard. It's really hard. I mean, you're just, ugh. I really wish it would show up as a true color, but I like it. My fabrics are not serged. I don't have a serger. If you get your fabrics, just so you know, they're not serged. I'm not the only one that doesn't serge as far as fabric dyers. Maybe at some point I will. I like getting fabrics that are serged, but then again, I hack into them. So right now, for me to invest in a serger, take the time to serge all my pieces. I just don't see, for me, the value in that. If that really bothers you, you can put a zigzag stitch around it yourself. There are cross stitch and quilt shops that a lot of times you can take fabric in there and they'll serge it for you for a nominal fee. You can just call around. Quilt shops certainly may do that for you, and they usually charge, you know, a couple bucks if you're a good customer, or they're a shop that gives great customer service. They may do it for free. You can also pull a vertical thread out of your linen and it'll stop any fraying. If you are stitching all the way to here anyway, I mean, you're dancing with the devil. That's a dance I have danced, and it is not good. So I don't think most people stitch right to here. So if you do get a little fraying, I don't stitch in hand. So maybe, you know, stitchers that stitch in hand really have an issue with it. I just leave it and I stitch, and it's usually never a problem. I get some pieces that kind of hang out a little bit, but if that really bothers you, there are ways to deal with that. Okay, I'm gonna try. I gotta put it back in the bag or I won't remember what count it is. or where it's going. I have stacks of fabric that has to go out, and so I'm trying to do this quickly so I can get back to it. This is Walnut Grove. This is just basically a mocha color. It's, well, I don't know. See, on camera, it's looking a lot like Hemingway, but it's not. It's a totally different tone. I'll put them together. Okay, so this is Hemingway. This is Walnut Grove. Walnut Grove is basically your basic mocha. See, now I'm using the food names. I mean, it's mocha. It's chocolate. It's just a brown. It's brown. It's a solid color. It's a good basic. Of course, you know why I would name it Walnut Grove. I'm a huge Laura Ingalls Wilder fan, and I have a few fabrics. I have some that I've offered before that I will probably bring back, and probably a few things will be named for that because I'm slightly obsessed with it. So if you have questions about the fabrics, just, you know, shoot me an email if you are wondering, if you're thinking about ordering any, or, you know, you've ordered some and like them and want to try other colors but don't know what to try. Just let me know. Maybe what you're working on or what you're thinking, and I can suggest something for you. I made some executive decisions. Here we go. I made some executive decisions. Last time I talked about selling wholesale, and I do sell wholesale. I've had a lot of shops contact me, and quite a few are going to start carrying the linen. And my executive decision was that I am only going to sell wholesale to brick and mortar for a few reasons. There is one online shop that I am going to sell to, and that is 1884 Stitchery. McKenna, she just started a new business and is doing some out of print reproduction sampler stuff that I think is really cool if you haven't been to her website. And she had asked me to sell wholesale, and before I made this choice, I was like, oh, absolutely. And she placed an order and was a good sport, and she kind of is the only other online only, other than myself, person that will carry it. I decided to do brick and mortar just to support brick and mortar shops, even though I don't have one near me. I figured, you know, it'll be nice to have this in stores where you can go in and touch it and feel it and see it yourself and get the true color. Some of those stores do have online presence and online presence. So it's not that you can't order it online from other places other than myself. And I think almost every shop will do mail order as well. So as soon as they have their linens that they've ordered, I will come on here. I will also put it on my Instagram where you can go, and if you live locally, that you can actually go pick them up and rifle through them and look at what's available. I'm also working with, I had a lot of people outside of the United States ask about the linen, and some of these places, I'm working with them. I may very soon have some shops that are willing to send to like Canada and the UK, and Australia and New Zealand are still off the table, but for now. But I may be able to direct the Canadian watcher, you know, all my friends across the pond and neighbors to the north on where they can go to get the linens. I just don't sell outside the United States right now for a few reasons. Basically for the postal system. You know, linen's expensive. And I'm trying to give good customer service and get everything out in a timely manner, and I'm very busy, and I don't have time to deal with stuff lost in the mail, replacing things lost in the mail. You know, it's expensive for you to buy, and it's expensive for me to make it. And I'm just not at a point where I can kind of like take that risk with the way the mail system is. So as soon as I can, that will probably be the next big announcement, is where people not in the United States can go to get stuff. Okay, 40 minutes. I can really ramble on. Okay, so I only have 2 whips, and then I got some stash that I'll show you. It sounds like someone's pulling up. pulling up to my house. And I really hope not. Okay. Everything I was working on before, I've only gotten a couple hours of stitching in, so there really isn't much progress on what I did work on. So I thought I would show you two whips that I have not worked on in the last week or two, but I'll show them to you. The first one is the Mary Bailey sampler by Scarlet Letter. I gotta be careful to get Scarlet Letter and Scarlet House mixed up. Scarlet Letter is fabulous. They've been around forever. I have a lot of patterns. It's probably another one I will do. Might do a whole video at some point, kind of like a theme. Who doesn't love a theme on Scarlet Letter? But this is a gorgeous sampler. And I am doing it on 36 count ivory Edinburgh. And I don't have a lot done. It's a beast. It's pretty big. So this is gonna be a project that takes a long time. See how I jump around? I jump around. And probably, I'd love to really get a lot of progress on this one this year, because it's pretty. I love everything about this sampler. There is a lot of over one on this one too, which I don't mind. I like over one. Don't yell. And it's just DMC. I even have the old, cardboard big DMC floss cards. This one's pretty bright. I don't know how to show you these. I don't know how to show you this mess in a way where you can really see the threads. So that is it. It's primary colors, pretty much. Red, green, yellow, that kind of stuff. Okay, and this one I've been working on for a while. It's another one I'm definitely going to get finished. I'm going to get finished beginning of next year. This is Alice Sarah Dennis by Mill on the Floss. Ugh, I love her samplers. And I'm going to show you my Mill on the Floss stash. I just got one of her new ones, and I don't think she doesn't get enough credit for it. They're very much like Hands Across the Sea. She and Nicola are good friends. If you've ever seen on social media, they really promote each other a lot. And I don't know, her reproductions are awesome. And I think this was one of her first ones. So it is, I still have a whole nother band down here. This is 40 count cream Zweigart. See, I feel even here, I'm dancing with the devil over here even. I mean, that's not a lot of room. Okay. Yeah, so there's no over one in this. It's a lot of reds, a little bit of pink. It's very fun. It has a strawberry border, which is one of my favorites. Simple. This 40 count cream. This is a project bag I made myself. Here are my DMC threads. Oh my God, someone that's OCD is really gonna have a heart attack when I show this stuff. They're just gonna say that's blasphemous. Okay, so that one will get finished. And this is, I thought I'd show a couple of them. This is her newest one, or the newest one. I think it's new, because I think the Attic Needlework showed this morning. They had a video this morning. Friends Are the Flowers, Friendship Sampler 2021. And this one, she actually stitched, I think Nicola did this on her Hands Across the Sea Flosstube. She has her initials and Nicola Parkman's. They're buds. They're friends. I don't have any friends I'm going to stitch this for, because I'm not that kind of girl. I have friends. But I'm not stitching stuff for him. So I'm not gonna, yeah, I don't know. I'm just putting my own initials in there. Okay. Charlotte Kingsley Griffin. I love this one because it's all I don't know why I'm cracking myself up because again, not popular in high school. Charlotte Kingsley Griffin. I like the yellows in this one. I think I remember, I haven't looked at the I love ones with history. I think Charlotte ended up in, as they said, the insane asylum. Don't know why. Yeah, she was in an asylum for 17 years. Oh, wouldn't you love to know the backstory of what was this? What did she do? I don't think she didn't have children, and if I remember, I'm gonna have to go back and read this. So Charlotte needs some love. She needs people, recognizing that she was here, stitching her sampler. I think it's beautiful. Very pretty. This one is Syrah Constable. See, now this one, here's the mustard and ketchup. You could totally use a color like a Syrah Syrah on this, for sure. It would be popping. It would be great. Maybe I'll do that. Who knows? Red House. You can't beat that. This is Harriet Hay. 1809. Another red house. You can't beat that. That one's really cool. I don't know. I might want to do that one too. I'm enabling myself. And then this is Jane Kershaw. That one doesn't look too terribly big. Oh, this one says Jane Stitcher sampler on thick, close to 32 count, and stitched in wool. She also has her own linen company, Tabby Cat Hand-Dyed Linens. Nicola she's in love with it, and she's been really promoting it on her site. I'd love to try it. 37 count is what she stitched her model on. And DMC. Verissois or DMC. And I'm going with the DMC. Because I think DMC is the raw end of the stick sometimes. I'm here to promote DMC. Okay, now really quick, I will try to get through the stuff that I've ordered and gotten in the mail. This one, and I have a little review of a product that has nothing to do with stitching, but I want to share it. Okay, Hannah Hetherington. I saw this one. I didn't know anything about this till I saw the Attic Needlework, one of their last Flosstubes. And I love this, and I love that. I might stitch both. I gotta take the glasses off because of the glare. I might stitch both, in all my free time. This one, I don't really want to take it out of plastic, but I will. I hate these plastic bags. They're great for merchandising and keeping stuff together, but man, they stink getting them in and out. This is Shakespeare's Peddler. It's called O. This one's gonna be a Christmas start. No doubt. Oh my God, excuse me. I don't know. There's always a DMC. I'll do that in DMC. Yesterday, I got the exclusive for Hobby House Needleworks. Rosetta Featherstone, 1894. That one's very pretty. I don't know if they still have them or not. It's exclusive to Hobby House Needleworks. It came with this cute little notebook. And then there's a bonus chart on the other side. And the day that that was really, I ordered it literally within minutes. I was like, I ordered Jane Jackson, 1820 to 40. I mean, I'm gonna have to investigate why there's a 20-year time span on this. I don't remember. I remember her talking about it. Good Lord. I don't know. Jane Jackson, 1840, 20 to 40. I don't know. This is a mystery. We might have to dig into this and read it. I haven't read it yet. I just got it yesterday, along with this one. And this one I will stitch soon. Ruth Gibb, 1882. That will not take long at all. It's fantastic. And it would be real easy to find a frame and not have to send this off to a framer. It's so small. I don't think that would be hard at all. If you're on a budget and, you know, don't always send off to framers. I got Teresa Kogut, Cotswold Fields. I think I first saw it. I don't know why I haven't really paid attention to this one, but I saw it on the Country Sampler website, and I was like, the colors, they're so good. This is the first Teresa Kogut pattern I've actually purchased. There's a lot that I'd like to do, but I haven't bought them yet, so you'll see that I'll buy it. I'll get to it. And then I also finally got, I've been wanting to get this GGR pattern for a long time. Well, it hasn't been out too terribly long. Ellen Norris. And, you know, that could be a next year stitch. I kind of need to do more like variety in colors and stuff. And this is just a picture of the antique. So if you go on Instagram, I don't know what the hashtag is, but there were a lot of people doing the Ellen Norris sampler, and I know some people have actually finished it. So if you want to see the true colors, you can see them online. And, oh my gosh, almost an hour. Okay. All right. So I just got an order yesterday, which I get all the time. But I thought, yeah, why not share it with you? Now, before I say what it is, if you're really sensitive about language, let's just say a little potty language, you can turn off now and I'll see you later. It's not bad. It's not bad. But I thought, you know, if you have littles around or if you're sensitive about it, you might not want me saying that the product name, I have to say it. So, you know, during the pandemic, everybody was like hoarding toilet paper, and I was not a toilet paper hoarder. I had plenty coming from Costco. So I was fine during the Great Hoard of 2020. You know, with all of the rumors of supply chain issues and all of this thing, a lot of the stores have gone back to, I'm sure most places have gone back to limiting your toilet paper and your paper towels and sort of the things that people really hoarded. You know, I hoarded cross stitch, they hoarded toilet paper, and I think it worked out better in my favor. But so yeah, so anyway, I have always used Kirkland Costco toilet paper, and it's fantastic. I started using this company, I'm going to show you. It's mail order toilet paper, and it is called Who Gives a Crap? It's fantastic. It gives me a chuckle whenever I'm in the loo, as they say. They all come individually wrapped like this. It is a mail order service. It comes to your door. I get a case of like 48 rolls. It's fantastic that it's coming to the door. I mean, I don't love lugging all those big packages from Costco and stuff into my house. It is made out of bamboo. They're all wrapped in different little, I mean, you know, if you have to store, if you don't have storage and you store your toilet paper in the bathroom, it's fantastic. They've got, when the box comes, you can do it as a subscription, or you can order like a box at a time. During the pandemic, there was no issues with their supply chain and getting people toilet paper. They also donate, and I can't remember the percentage. You can go on their website. I believe it's whogivesacrap.com. They use a percentage of their proceeds to build toilets and sewage systems in underdeveloped countries that need it. So you're buying the toilet paper. It's a little pricier than Costco. But if you kind of do the math, if you do the math of whatever brand you use, what the cost is per sheet and per roll, it's just a few cents more per roll. It really, you know, I think I pay about $50 some for 48 rolls. It lasts a long time. I think it lasts as long as the Kirkland, or maybe even a little longer. I have a septic system and it's good for septic. The delivery box has fun little things written on it. The toilet paper roll on the inside has fun things written on it. Like, I don't know why. It just cracks me up. Give yourself a pat on the bum. Please do more ones and twos. I mean, who doesn't want to giggle when you're doing your business, you know? So, I don't know. It's fun. I thought I'd let you guys know about it. I don't know a lot of people that order this, and I thought, you know, so many people are ordering online. Why not promote toilet paper? And we all use it, so even if it's not stitching related, I thought you might enjoy it. And now you know a little bit about things that I enjoy. And making myself laugh in the bathroom is one of them. So, okay, I'm gonna get out of control here if I don't stop. So I'll be back probably in a couple weeks. Thank you for the comments, the orders. I'm working on it. I'm working hard. Some days I've been dying from, I got up the other morning at 3:45 in the morning and I started dying by like 4:15. And I kept going that day till about 5 o'clock at night. So I'm working hard and trying to get the stuff out as quick as possible. I have a lot of orders, so the wait time's probably a little more than it was before, but still not terribly long. And yeah, so hopefully that's it for now. And once again, I didn't think of how to jump off this boat. Okay, I'm just gonna hit stop. I'll see you later.